Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Customer Success Connect series. By now, you know who is our guest today, Charles Cabouret, our expert in digital sovereignty, Charles. Again, Charles, thank you for having been with us in our last two episodes, where we defined what sovereignty is and how it works, also in HCL Domino. We've talked the theory and tools, but now we would like to really understand how it hits the ground. Before we start, to everyone who's watching, if you haven't seen the first and second episode, I advise you to go and watch it. It's still with Charles. And today we're gonna, as we just said, go more into the practical part. So, Charles, how do you execute a sovereignty strategy for a client?
Oh my God, another very tricky question, my dear Nivine. We need to understand what the client try to achieve. Sometimes they are using sovereignty to decrease the cost, right? Sometimes, and it's okay. It's okay. We can do both, but we need to try to understand what are they trying to achieve, right? Because going to an exit plan from something which is working, which is the case today, cloud is working, hyperscaler are working. So why they should need for something else, right? You need to find, I think, two-way, right? The first one can be price, have a cheaper offer. Another aspect is what is the silver bullet or the key innovation you are bringing here? What is a big combo that you can bring to my team, to my business user to make sure they are more productive, they are spending less time trying to work on their email and maybe more on managing some project or doing the stuff. So that's, I think, the two orientation we can find. So concretely, we try to sit down to open the book and say, dear customer, what do you want to achieve? So we try to really identify the best KPIs, what they are looking for. Right? They want maybe to get rid of. Sometimes they are using 14 software to do collaboration, where they can have maybe one or two or one with us. Right? So that's the first angle, I think, concretely. Then when you discover what your clients really want, if it's just really sovereignty, but trust me, uh, I have never seen a client uh, deciding only on sovereignty. It's a mix. It's a mix of price. It's a mix of amazing productivity and innovation, and of course, sovereignty is very nice to have. Sometimes a must to have. Sometimes it is the only possible for very sensible organizations. They have no any options. They do not want to go to the cloud. How can I manage what I have today with something more cheaper, more productive, and more integrated? That's where we try to work with our customer, and then you dive in the contract aspect because many times when you jump in sovereignty speech, a discussion with a client, they are now more demanding. All of this sovereignty at the end of the day, it's paper, black and white contract to make sure our clients are safe on the different layer financial sovereignty, technical sovereignty, reversibility. So all of the layer of sovereignty, we need to bring that on the legal framework. And we have a complete legal framework focused on that in HCL software. So that's why we are focusing on sovereignty, yes.
Yes, sure, absolutely. There is legal part, there is the technical part, and let's jump on this actually. In the last call, you also mentioned on cloud. Let's dive a bit more in what on-premise means for HCL Software Domino and digital sovereignty.
Yes, on-premise means you have your own server, you have your own data center, right? It is you have your own backup system, right? So, for vast majority of the organization, they get rid of the cloud between 2010 and 2017. I would say we have seen a new emergence 2018 about oh my god, what's happening in the world? The world is not more aligned like it was before. Um, and definitely since 2 years now, 2024, there is a big wake up call about sovereignty. And then sovereignty is sometimes for some, many times it is freedom of choice. What is meant by how our CEO KK, who is managing HCL software, and I think we just love to sit with the client and just say, we want you to choose. We don't want to push you in the cloud or on premise. Actually, we offer both, but we want to offer you both. We want to offer our client, our partner, the choice to be the freedom of choice, right? So we believe sovereignty is offering our ecosystem, our people, our client, our partner, freedom of choice. And then, if you want to really offer that, you need to propose an on-premise software or in your data center, hybrid cloud, public cloud, private cloud, everything. So we don't care about the deployment model. We have only one solution, and we We, thanks to auto upgrades, thanks to Kubernetes, thanks to Postgre, this is what we want to offer to our ecosystem. Freedom of choice of deploying our software, Domino, for example, in their own data center. Did I answer your question, even?
You did answer my question. Yes. Thank you, Charles. And now, as you said, the world is changing. We hear so many rumors, we hear so many voices, we hear that digital sovereignty is really making the change. But for someone who is actually, who might be a bit confused hearing all this and not knowing how to start, so from a sales level or from a customer success point of view, what would be your advice to start? Of course, reaching out to us is always a good part, but for someone who's really starting, what's a good advice that you would give?
Yeah. First, there is some speaker in many countries. The first news is like there is so many alternatives. There is so many beautiful alternatives, but they don't have the power of marketing from our friend in North America. And maybe when you explore for India, for Europe, for North Africa, there's so many local, powerful, bright alternatives that can be scalable, that can be enterprise grade solution. So the first thing is try to try to look, right? Try to really find some time to increase your knowledge about what can be the alternative. By the way, I will send two links. I have produced two reports, one for India, one for Europe, about the best 15 alternatives that we can find. I will we can put it in the link or wherever somewhere definitely, or you can contact us and I will send it to you. But I'm sure you can find a lot of potential alternative online. We are trying to test it. We're trying to bring many alternatives also to the market. So the first advice is really document yourself. There is so many beautiful solutions, so many where you can increase decrease the TCO, so it's total cost of ownership, increase the innovation and the productivity of your team, and stay sovereign, right? So it's time to wake up. I think it's time to try. And maybe everything is not working perfectly yet, but in each country, in each region, globally, we are trying to offer a global alternative, but there is plenty of that.
Charles, it has been an eye opening series. From understanding that sovereignty is a survival strategy to seeing how it's literally written into the fine print of our contracts. And let's say it, it's clear that at HCL Software, we aren't just following the rules, but we're helping our customers to set their own. Can we say this?
We can say that, yes. So we need to listen, try to execute, really focus on what do they need. This is, I really think collectively, our client and our partner, if we try to take the brain of this and just we infuse our software the way we are going to the market with their own idea, this is the best way for us to evolve and to grow according to the business need. So yes, and share with us your idea. Share with us what do you think we should do. We are eager to learn more with you. We need you to grow our ecosystem, to grow our idea, to grow our software. And I love this way of being collaborative with our complete supply chain.
Charles, I think this is a great way to wrap up our special series on digital sovereignty. But this conversation, as Charles said, it doesn't end here. If you have any more questions for Charles or want to see a deep dive into a specific reason, want to know more about Domino IQ, please tell us, rather in the comments, rather send us an email. We are here for you. Thanks for watching Customer Success Connect series, and we'll see you next time. Thank
Thank you
you
so much,
again, Charles.
Nivine. Take care.